Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mama Christine's podcast, Living Life Through Experience. This is week number 28, I believe. 27 or 28, I forgot. Anyway, the more important thing is the messages that we bring across, not what week it is. But anyhow, so today we're going to do some messages, and not just messages about, guidance from your angels, but more along the lines of coaching kind of style. So when I pull a card, it's going to be giving you advice, giving you strategy, giving you whatever it is that you need, in the moment. So therefore, there we go. So let's get started, right? Here we go. What's first and foremost? Well, here we go, right? Unconditional love. Isn't that where everything starts? That's life, right? Part of our process of being on this lovely planet is to learn unconditional love. For who? For ourselves, for other people. You're going to find that you're not going to get along with everybody in this world, and I know you know that already. But we can still have unconditional love for people, because one thing that I have always known, and it still baffles the human part of myself, is we're all connected. We are all a spark of the divine. And some people will say, well, how could you say everybody is a spark of the divine if they have killed people or hurt people or, were mean to people? How could you say somebody like that is a spark of the divine? It's because they are, no matter what. You know what I mean? All cookies can have the same ingredients, which makes them that spark of divine, okay? But then you can get a cookie that doesn't come out so good. Why? Maybe because it was undercooked or overcooked. But is it still a cookie? Yes, it is. Okay? So humans are the same way. We were all made the same way. We were all made as a spark of the divine. So there's a piece of the universe, a piece of God within all of us. Now what happens is we come to this lovely planet and we're going to live a life. Once we get here, everything is free will. Now, one of my favorite quotes from our Harry Potter movie is when Sirius tells Harry, he says, you're not a bad person, you're just a good person that bad things have happened to. It is up to us to choose whether or not we go with the light or we go with the dark, right? That is life. That is life. Everybody is good until they choose not to be. And, there's just so many things that happen in life that changes our minds and puts us on this path of who are we? Where am I going? Why am I such a bad person? If everybody thinks I'm bad, I might as well just be bad. But yet, we seem to forget that we have this free will. And even though everybody might be saying you're a bad person because of a bad thing you did, a bad thing, doesn't mean you should take that and run with it. You should take that and use it as a stepping stone to learn the lesson and move on and do better. But again, that free will, it's up to you to choose the light or the dark, the heart or the head, the truth or the false ego. There's so much, and we give up on that unconditional love for ourselves. We feel like, well, if everybody else thinks I'm this way, then maybe that's who I should be. And it's like, no, you don't have to be. Everybody has a choice in this life. Everybody has a decision to make of what it is they want to do and what they want to do with it, right? So, that's one of those things. So the next card that comes up along that is speaking your truth, right? Speak your truth. And something tells me I need to read it. It says, thank you, Gabriel, for helping me to speak with integrity, right? Archangel Gabriel is the archangel of the messages. It's Gabriel who told Mary that, isn't that funny? So that's how they come out together, right? The angel that told Mary that she was going to have a baby. And it's almost Christmas. So anyway, I digress. Anyhow, so, speak with truth, speak with integrity, and again, maybe you are one of those people that you're not really a bad person. We've all made mistakes, but yet you still seem to be stuck on that, what everybody else thinks of me, so that's what I'll be. Again, free will. You don't want to be that person, then don't be that person. What everybody else thinks of you is none of your business. And I've said that a million times. Speak your truth. Live within your integrity. If your belief system is to be a good person, and do it because you want to, and do it through truth and integrity, then you're doing what you need to do for you. Stop trying to please everyone else. And you're always going to have somebody. We all are always going to have somebody who's going to have something to say about us. Personally, don't care. It's happened many times to me, many. Through my 20 years of doing the work that I'm doing, I live in my truth. I live with integrity. I practice what I preach. I don't claim to be this holy than thou spiritual person who doesn't live that way. You know what I mean? If I'm going to preach spirituality, I'm living my spirituality. I have grown as a person over the last 20 years. You know, I have learned to let go. I've learned to move on. I've learned to see things from a completely different perspective. So anybody can do that as well. Other people have talked about me. Of course they have. I've had people that I have taught classes to who have turned around and told everybody what a terrible person I was, you know? And people are like, aren't you mad? I'm like, it's not my karma, it's theirs. I did my job. I did what I was supposed to do. I taught them what I was supposed to teach them. Now it's up to them to take it and run with it. Did they come to this class with truth and integrity for themselves? Did they come to this class with the intention of learning something to help others? Or did they come to this class with the intention of how much money can I make once I get this done? There's a big difference between the two. So it's not my karma, it's theirs. Who I am, I know who I am. Do they have a different perception of me? Probably, but I don't care. Because, you know, again, there's my truth, your truth, and someone else's truth. There's always a different truth everywhere you look. But again, live your life according to you. Be kind, be happy, be loving, have compassion, and live in your truth. You know, and be who you are. Sometimes you're in such a great place that other people are jealous. Sometimes you're in such a great place that other people are losing control of being able to tell you what to do or how to do it. And when they see a person becoming very strong within themselves, not power, but personal power, coming into their own, they're confident. You know what I mean? And other people see that as a very intimidating thing. And instead of telling you, wow, great job, they're going to do what they can to tear you down. Don't let them. Don't let them. Anytime somebody talks bad about you, listen to what they said about you, because that's usually a reflection of themselves, not you. When somebody comes at you very angrily, and you haven't even had a chance for conversation yet, well, obviously that anger is not for you. It's anger that they're carrying around, you just happen to be in their way, so they spewed it all over you, you know. There's so much out there that we could be doing, accomplishing, feeling, experiencing, if we would only listen to our own hearts instead of listening to everybody else's. You know, again, it comes back to compassion, right? Unconditional love. Love yourself enough to do everything you want to do in this world. And stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Stop worrying about what society says you're supposed to do. Stop worrying about those who talk bad about you. Stop worrying about people who are judging you. Again, you know, it's one of those things that let it go. You know, and I know as human beings we can have this oh my God, this sense of oh my God, but I'm supposed to X, Y, and Z. Oh my God, but you know, what if I don't do it and then I feel like I missed out on something? Well, do you really feel like you've missed out? Or what's going on? You know what I mean? So do what makes you happy. Love yourself, have compassion for yourself, speak with truth and integrity, and move forward, and the heck with everybody else. You know, because you're never ever going to please everybody. You're not. Speak your truth, be who you are. When you can't, this is where you go. Connect with music. So what does that mean for you? It means, yes, connect with music. Listen to soft, soothing music, okay? De-stress. Let go of anxiety. Help to clear your mind with music. Use meditation. Use meditative music. Use a guided meditation. If you're one of those people where your mind's all over the place, use a guided meditation, because this way you're listening to someone's direction, so you're constantly following their direction. If you happen to fall off the wagon a little bit and you're like here, there, and everywhere, it's like, oh, wait a minute, get yourself back to where they are and where they're at, and just continue to follow. But you'll find that it's going to help, okay? Those are one of the things I always tell people, that when we talk spiritual toolbox, that's one of the things that needs to be in that toolbox, is meditation or music or something. Then, once you've calmed down and you've chilled out, now we go here. Leap of faith, right? What's the leap of faith? That's the thing that you always want to do. That's the thing that you're afraid to do because you're worried about what everybody's going to think, right? And again, I've told you guys this story before. If I had worried about what everybody was going to think when my sister and I opened up this business, we would never have opened. Because back then, 20 years ago, when you said Reiki, probably 80% of the people went, huh? What's that? Right? But we did it anyway. And a few months from now, 20 years. So don't worry about everybody else. Follow your heart. Take the leap. Okay? If you're in a job that you can't stand, maybe you like what you do, but you hate where you are. And it's always that, I wish I could get out of here. I wish I could Of course you can get out of there. Not I wish, you can. So why aren't you? Why? Because you don't love yourself enough. You're more worried about the money. You're more worried about the benefits. You're more worried about what society's going to say, what people are going to say. Again, I know people that are CEOs who have dropped out of doing that to do the work I do. Why? Because it fulfills their purpose. It makes their heart happy to help other people. And they are much better off now than they were when they were big in the company. Was the money there? Sure. But you know what? When you're totally burnt out, miserable, mentally distressed, it's not worth it. Not worth it. So take the leap, okay? Take that leap of faith. Go after what you want. Do what makes you happy, right? Even if it's just, you know what? I'm gonna do what's best for me. I'm gonna start setting boundaries for people. That might be your leap of faith. Not just changing jobs or going after that business opportunity you wanted to start 20 years ago. Maybe that leap of faith is finally setting up some boundaries with people who really need boundaries. Whatever it may be, don't take things so literally. Leap of faith can mean many different things. It's taking that thing that you've been putting off and doing it. Okay? So, but in the long run, a lot of people feel alone. I don't know how to do this. What's going to happen? I wish I had some help. You have spiritual support. You always have spiritual support. You have angels. You have guides. You have loved ones on the other side. There's the archangels. All you have to do is say, angels, please help me. Give me the confidence I need to speak up for myself. Help me to have the strength to put up those boundaries I need with these people. Help me to whatever you need. Ask. Always, always, always ask. Okay? So what does that do for you when you start using your spiritual toolbox, when you start asking for help and support from people? And you have support here as well. I know you've got to have friends or like-minded people that understand you. They can help you as well. It doesn't always have to be from the divine. It can be from them and from people here. Okay? I tell people all the time, you don't have to just come to Sisters just to get a Reiki session or a massage or a reading or whatever. If you ever want to pop in and just chit chat for a minute, we welcome you in to do that. Not everything costs money. Okay? We don't mind sharing the space and giving you space to open up about what you need to open up about. Or maybe you just, I just needed to get out of the house. I haven't been feeling myself. I like it when I come here. I always feel so good. I like seeing you guys and, chit-chatting for a little bit. Now I feel better. Now I can go on with my day. We've had people do that. And that's okay. Because that's what we're here for. So yes, we can be part of your spiritual support as well. Okay? So what does all those things teach you? right? Because now it's all about studying and learning, which this card is about that. It's not school per se, but life. Life is school. Life is your learning place. Life lessons, okay? What has life been teaching you? I say if you stop right now where you're at, whatever age you're at in this moment, as you're listening to this, what have you learned? Now for me, I'm 58 years old, so what have I learned? I've learned to be stronger. I've learned to be more courageous. I've learned to speak up more. I've learned to set boundaries. I've learned to speak my truth. I have learned to be more open-minded. I have learned to be more open-hearted. I've learned that perception is everything. I have learned to become more independent, or get back to my independence, I should say. I have learned to let go of what no longer serves me. Now, these are just a bunch of things that I have learned over the years. What have you learned? You know, people might say, I haven't learned anything. Of course you have. Of course you have. Any tough thing that has happened in your life, whether it be a breakup, a fight between you and a family member or a friend, a car accident, okay, a hospitalization, oh, God, it could be anything at all. What has it taught you? You know, has it taught you boundaries? Has it taught you to stand up for yourself? Has it taught you to approach things without feeling like confrontation? You know, these are all the different things that you have already learned over time. Because believe me, if you haven't learned it, it's going to keep coming back over and over and over again until you get it right. Okay? So if you feel like you have this specific pattern that keeps happening, like, why is this happening again? Again, have you learned your lesson? So for example, I know people who have like, why do things keep happening to me? Why is it always me? Why do they keep... Why? First of all, stop looking at it that way, because that just attracts, more happening to me. That's what she wants, more happening to me, because that's all you're focusing on is the negative aspects of what's been happening to you. You could turn around and say, you know what, this really was not a great thing, but I'm glad I'm okay. I'm glad it's working itself out, and I'm glad I can move on from it. I've learned a lot. Right? There's two ways of looking at everything. All right. So yeah, think about, you know, what you've learned so far, and then take what you're going through now, right in this moment. There's going to be something you're going through, even if it's teeny tiny. Maybe it's just a thought in your head that just won't let go because you haven't worked on it yet. Study that. Look at it. What does it mean for you? And what are you going to do about it? Right? Now, a lot of people will have different thought processes of how you should heal, okay? Because it happens a lot of times. Well, so-and-so told me I should do this, and so-and-so told me I should do that, and so-and-so said this, and so-and-so said that, and that doesn't work because so-and-so says it doesn't work, so I should try something else. It's like, oh my word. First of all, you have to figure out for yourself what's going to help you heal. Try different things. I tell people all the time, they said, will Reiki work for this? I'm like, it can definitely work for you. I says, but depending on the deepness of it, I said, there could be something else that's better, you know, that might work with you better than the Reiki will. I look at energy work as, I think they all work. I really do. But sometimes people just don't feel it the same. And they may notice like, well, I had Reiki and I was relaxed, but I didn't feel like there was a major release. And yet they'll go for acupuncture and through the chi and the meridians and all that and those little needles and boom, big shift. Okay, great. So it's whatever works for you. So stop listening to everybody else on what is going to work or not work. Somebody should say to you, you know what, I have tried this. That might be an option for you. Just thought I would let you know. Right? There's many different ways to heal, you know, and like I tell people, it's sometimes it's a combination of a few things. I have clients that come in to see me, but they also go about in the world, and they do other things. They'll do chiropractic, they'll do acupuncture, they might do massage, they might do, I don't know, lymphatic drainage. I mean, there's a million things out there. They might go to Tai Chi classes, exercise classes, and, you know, so even though Reiki can help mentally and emotionally, so do these other things. So a combination of a few things is what they use in their life, and that's what helps them. So I always tell people, you know, if you think about, like, from where I am, okay, so Westport is here, let's say Boston is up here, okay, there's more to one way to get there. You know, everybody thinks of the same old highway. You take 24 up to 93 and into Boston. Sure, that's the easiest way from here. But you can go around. You can go 95 and go around Boston and come back in. You could go 495. You could go, oh my God, through, the best way to say it for me, without knowing the route numbers, but it's kind of like you could go through like the far east part of Massachusetts up the coastline and come in that way. You know, you can take back roads if you know the back roads. It's going to take you a while, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because all roads lead to the same place. So guess what? No matter which avenue you take, you will find your healing at some point. So my whole point is, it doesn't matter. Where you start is here, yourself, okay? Where you end up is healing. How you get from there to there depends on you. Depends on which avenue you take. All avenues will take you to healing, but it's got to make sense to you. It's got to feel right to you, okay? So it doesn't matter which path you take, as long as you take a path and you find the healing you're looking for. When you get through your healing and you're working on yourself, this is when this comes in, loving and accepting yourself. Because you do start to see yourself differently in a way that you never saw yourself before. I mean, I can remember many, many, many years ago, of course, especially like way back, we'll go way back, high school, okay? I was all like, oh my gosh, I'm in high school, I'm a teenager, I'm this, I'm that, but yet very intimidated by other students, who I thought, because I was just guessing, I don't really know, but I'm just judging them based on their outer appearance and their actions, that, oh, they're bigger and stronger than me. They're more popular than me. They're this, they're that, and I'm not. You know what I mean? And of course, in high school, you don't know who you are yet. All you know is you're a human being trying to figure yourself out in this crazy, crazy world. And it's not until you reach adulthood that you start realizing, like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I love, and this is where I'm going. You know, you don't realize all those things in high school. You know, it takes time. It takes time to get there. So you do begin to really love and accept yourself as you learn to heal, to let go of your old stuff, your breakups, your traumas, you name it, doesn't matter. The breakups, the boundaries, the arguments, all that stuff. There's a lot we hold on to and we don't let go. And I've talked about that dungeon before, where we take it all in, we swallow it, and it ends up in the dungeon. And it really doesn't do anything there besides ferment, and then eventually turn into some repressed anger. And then, of course, from there it just gets worse and worse. But yeah, let's not do that. Let's work on the healing aspect, like we were talking about before. What's in your spiritual toolbox? Meditation is one of them. Journaling is another. Maybe for you it's yoga or Tai Chi. Maybe it's workout classes, like heavy duty workout classes, pumping weights, whatever. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's calling a friend. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's crocheting or knitting or drawing, there's a million different things that could be in your toolbox that you can use to release and to let go, to de-stress, okay? Releasing and letting go means, when it comes to emotional and mental state, it's truly letting go of the things that we've held on to for a long time. Like you guys probably know, I've been through a divorce, and do I hold on to that? No, I don't. Because in my heart, I know what I did was best for me and my children. And Am I still angry at that person? No. Do I think they haven't figured things out? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they haven't figured things out. But again, that's not my issue. That's their issue. My job is to live my life and not carry around his energy, because it's not mine, it's his. And I want to walk around free and clear in this world. I want to walk around where the last thing I think about is him. Does he come up in conversation? Of course he does, because I mean, he's the father to my children. So, you know, it does happen to come up, but I'm not like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. You know, no attachments, no anger, no sadness, no nothing. And a lot of people refuse to do that. They're like, no, they were wrong, he was wrong, she was wrong, it doesn't matter. I can't believe they did that, whatever. And just, God, 5 years can go by and they're still complaining. And it's like, okay, now you have not let that go. You really got to let that go. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. You got to let some stuff go. And you're not letting go, guess what? Signs from heaven, they're going to show it to you. How do they show you that you haven't let go? Is because it keeps popping up right here. I have clients that are saying, oh my God, I'm having dreams about my ex, or oh my God, I keep running into him or her or whatever. And it's like, that's because they're doing it on purpose to show you you need to let go. You need to. I've let go. You haven't. You know, we can say we did. It doesn't mean we did. Remember that, okay? So, start listening to your own intuition. When someone keeps popping into your head, that's their way of saying, see this person? You got to work on that. If the same scenarios keep happening to you over and over again, the patterns, pay attention to that. Because you know, deep down inside, you know why these keep happening. But you let your conscious mind go, I don't understand why this is happening. But you do, you know. So trust your vibes, trust your intuition. So the same people keep coming back, the same patterns keep coming back. There's a reason why. That's the universe, that is God, that is your angels, your guides, your loved ones. Let it go. Cut the cords, let it go. Because while you're, again, I've said this a million times too, while you're walking around with a head full of anger over this person or the situation or whatever it is, the other people are walking around free and clear. Because the last thing on their mind is you. It's only you holding on. So let it go. It's not benefiting you. Let it go. That will benefit you. To be able to walk around on this, in this wonderful earth of ours, having a mind that is free and clear, with nothing occupying the space besides love and positivity. With the occasional thing that pops in occasion, with life, but not that person. You know what I mean? No, let it go. Let it go. It's your life. Live it. Have fun. Bring yourself here. Find that space. I always tell people when I'm doing a reading with somebody and Earth Angel comes up, it means because the person sitting across from me is an Earth Angel. And I'll tell you, we all are. The difference is some people openly honor that love within themselves, knowing that they are very heart-centered, and they use that heart-centeredness to help others, to be mindful of their own lives, so on and so forth. Whereas sometimes you can be you're an Earth Angel as well, but the problem is you've got anger, you've got sadness, you've got whatever else is. So guess what? The Earth Angel stuff just off to the side. Don't do that to yourself. Why? Again, this is your life. Live it. So why live it being cranky? Why live it holding on to anger? Why live it feeling like you need, oh my God, I don't know, to be heard or have vengeance or whatever? It's like, your truth. That's all that matters. You don't have anything to prove to the world. You have nothing. So clear your vibes. Clear out your garbage. Clear out your negativity. Clear your mind. Clear your heart. Clear yourself out. Clear your energy. Whatever you need to do. But do that. Because the red right here in his cloak right away takes me to like the root chakra. And your root chakra is about your groundedness. It's about your stability. It's about your foundation, where you stand, right? Your survival skills, all of those things. And it's hard to be there when you're always up here. And that's what a lot of people don't understand either, is they're so busy up here thinking and worrying and freaking out and being angry that you're not grounded. You're not grounded. And if you're not grounded, that's why everything seems like, well, even worse, because you're not where you're supposed to be. So let's start making some healthy choices, okay? I know it's coming up like quite the story today. Healthy choices meaning mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy, all the 4 bodies, okay? You're not one body, you're 4. And even spiritually speaking, I don't care if you are, oh my God, I'm having a blank for a moment. I don't care if you don't believe in God, okay? It doesn't matter. To me, being spiritual is having a belief system in something, even if it's just positivity, kindness, with no attachment to any other source, okay? A decent human being, right? So, whether you are religious or whether you are spiritual and connected with angels and guides and God, or whether you just, have a faith in life, okay? And that faith in life, again, is about positivity and kindness and non-judgmental and so on and so forth. Make some healthy choices in your life, right? Healthy choices. Clear the mind, clear the angst, the anger, clear that out, right? When you start releasing and letting go of all this stuff that doesn't serve you emotionally, the negative pieces, that's when you notice your mental health gets better. Because when the emotions are going crazy, the mental starts going crazy, and then physically you don't feel so good. And then spiritually, your faith is just dropped. And faith doesn't mean faith in spirituality or faith in religion or faith in a God. You can mean just faith in life, right? Faith in your fellow human. So whatever works for you, that's where you want to be. So stick with your trustworthy friends. Stick with those who bring you up, not tear you down. Because a lot of times, too, we feel obligated to stay stuck with somebody who's not good for us. We settle for people who are not that great for us. And there is no stuck. There is no settling. You should not settle. I would rather be alone and happy than with a bunch of people and not be happy. And I don't mean that just any bunch of people. I mean people that are not good for me. People that are maybe very negative or very, condescending. Somebody who is narcissistic or, those kinds of people. Those are the people you don't want in your life. You might be in a romantic relationship where you feel like, I feel like this is all I can find, so this is what I'm sticking with. And it's like, are you happy? Well, there, it's okay. It's like, again, there we go, settling. Stop settling. Love is about having love for yourself. When you are perfectly happy with being alone and being who you are, that's love. Finding somebody to share that with is just a bonus. It really is. Yes, does everybody want a romantic relationship? Of course. Who doesn't want to have a companion that they can share their life with and share their experiences with? But you know what? It's got to be the right person. Don't just settle for somebody because you can say, I have a boyfriend or girlfriend or a significant other. Don't do that. Don't settle. Do not settle, because then you spend your life regretting it, being upset over it, and that's no fun. That is no fun at all. So let's start something new. Okay? New beginnings. That's where this takes us. It's all about starting new beginnings. When do you start? Right now. Any moment is a moment to start something new. Start making change within yourself. Start healing. Start laughing. Start loving. Start caring. Start a new job. Start new friendships. Start new relationships. Start, new living situations. Start a new hobby, a new craft. Right? Start traveling, start saving money, start making money, whatever it may be. But every moment of every day, is a chance for a new beginning. So even if you try to do something new and it didn't work out, doesn't mean you stop and it's over. No, get back up. It's like when you're, a year old or 18 months old and you're trying to walk, you're going to fall. What do? You get right back up and keep going until you figure it out. So why as adults do we stop figuring things out? We just go, oh, that didn't work. And we give up. Don't give up. New beginnings all the time. Time to let the old shadow self go. Bye-bye. And bring on the new light. Time. It's time. So get focused. Focus. Right? Focus your mind. Right? Open your heart. Open your mind. Be determined. Be motivated. Ask for help from the divine. Ask for help people here. I would never have started walking this past summer if I wasn't motivated by my friend, because we keep each other accountable. We're going walking. Yep. Right? Because I don't want to say no to her, because I know I want it for myself as well. So keep going. Don't give up. Life doesn't change until you make it change. Life doesn't change until you make the choice to make it change. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. But you know what? We have to do what's right, or we'd have to do what's easy. Which is better? Doing what's easy makes you settle. Doing what's right is work. But on the other side of that work is going to be happiness. It truly will be happiness. So think about these things as you listen to this discussion this evening. I think Spirit trusts in what I just said, because the lights were all blinking all of a sudden. But I want to pull one more for you, and this time I'm going with the chakra deck. Really just want to I feel like I just need to give you one last waha, if that made sense. I know that was kind of weird. Sorry. Okay, chakras. Here we go. Boom. Okay, there's the Okay, indigo, third eye, mysticism, the cloaked person. So what does that mean? Well, that's what everybody's going, but I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Ask. Okay? Ask for guidance. Ask for signs. Ask for messages. Ask for push. Ask for whatever you need. Stop worrying about what's in the future. Just focus on now. If you're looking to make new friends, okay, well, how do I do that? Well, obviously you have to be in a position where you're in a place where there's people, right? You're not going to find people sitting home in your four walls. So what are your likes? What are your dislikes? Maybe, maybe you're a poetry person. Well, then find a place that does poetry things, where they have mic night and have people do their poetry. Go to a library. Go wherever you might find poetry things, okay? I'm not a poetry person, so I can't tell you. I don't know, right? For me, I love my spiritual stuff. I love sound baths. I go to one every single month at a friend who has her own place. And that's my thing. I love that. I love breath work when it comes around. I love cooking, So, if you're looking to meet new people and make new friends, and say cooking is one of your things, then find a place that's doing a cooking class, or, cooking demonstrations, or, whatever. Get on an online community where you can connect with people in your area, right? Come on. It's 2025. We have an internet, right? We have social media. And I know we have to be careful, but there's so many new ways now to meet people. That's one way to do it. So stop worrying about what's coming. I don't know. I can't see the future. No, you can't. You have to live in the moment. The future isn't here yet. You start worrying about the future, you're going to give yourself anxiety. We don't want to do that. So then, of course, it's the gray area. But what's my destiny? Everybody feels like they have a need-to-know basis. You don't, okay? All you need to know is what's happening right now in this moment. Is it nice to have a little look into the future? Yeah, when you figure things out. Like me, I have planned a trip for Christmas. This is my first time ever, I think, since I was a little kid, where I'm away for Christmas, but it's something we've planned, so okay, But again, what's coming up? That's a fun thing. What about work? What about money? What about relationships? What about friendships? What about one day at a time? Again, ask for signs. Ask for whatever you need. But again, don't just sit in your four walls and go, nobody's knocking on my door. Because guess what? They're not going to. Okay, I'm sorry. So what's your destiny? You'll figure that out. You will figure that out. So yes, don't be complacent. Don't just sit there in your house and go, whatever. Because nothing happens that way. Nothing happens that way. So that was your message there. So again, I always go with what feels right to me when I talk with you guys every week. And today it was just very strong that it was just like, just pull cards and we're going to talk about what we want you to talk about and where we're going to take it. And that's exactly what happened. That's what I want you guys to do. What do I do next? Well, go with what you're given. If it's a friendship, then find places where you can go where you would meet people. Okay? Maybe if that one coworker says, hey, you want to go for coffee tonight or go for a drink later or something, maybe for once say yes. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but at least do it once and try it. If you don't like it, don't do it again. If you like it, then you can do it again. Otherwise, how do you make new friends? You want a relationship? Well, don't sit home and think Mr. or Mrs. Charming is going to knock on the door and go, hey, here I am. You got to get out there. You got to get out there. You want a new job? Start looking for a new job. Send out some resumes. Maybe even make a resume first, right? Does everybody have a resume? No. So guess what? Make a resume. Get your resume together. Then figure out, where do I want to send it? Okay? What are your qualifications? What do you want to do? Do you want to keep doing the same thing but at a different place? Then look for those places. Maybe you want to do something completely different. Ask for a sign. Ask for which direction should I go in that would help me to fulfill my purpose. Right? I don't care what it is. If you're looking to acquire more money, but you have a great job, then you know what? Angels, please help me. I would love to have an extra $100 a week or an extra $1,000 to take care of something you need to take care of at home or whatever it is. They'll find a way and they will let you know. Believe me, I have seen it happen multiple times in my life where it was like, oh my God, I really need this extra money because of whatever. And then somehow, some way, it shows up. It shows up. I don't know how many times I'm out there and say, oh, it'd be so nice to have a little extra money so I could buy this thing that I really, really want without touching the whole house money. You know what I mean? You got to budget things. And out of nowhere, because I put a new heating system in my building, Mass Save connected with me and said, oh, hey, if you let us monitor how you use your heat throughout the winter, we'll pay you $250. Well, hello, thank you very much. I'll take that. And just for accepting, they gave me $150 beforehand. And that was just for filling out a survey. So where else can you go and make $400 doing nothing, right? You never know how these things are going to happen, but they happen. So it all works out. So guys, work on yourselves and don't worry if you fall apart or you fall down or whatever. Nobody's perfect, right? We're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to learn. We're meant to learn patience. I know we don't have that. But you know what? As things progress, just take it day by day. Day by day. And if nothing is happening, accept that as the way it's supposed to be. Because sometimes you need to sit back for a bit and wait before the perfect opportunity arises. And the universe knows that. And they know that you're going to be fine while you wait. We're the ones who get impatient and want to know when, where, how, why, and all of the above, right? So breathe, meditate, spiritual toolbox. What do you need to chill out? Basically, you know what you need that would help to put you back into a Zen space, right? All right, so that is our talk for this week. Lots of little things to think about. Think about your life lessons. Think about where you want to go. And if you're perfectly content where you are at the moment, then you know what? Just focus on keeping yourself here. Okay? But until next week, have a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoyed. And by all means, again, if you know somebody who could benefit from listening, then share. Share the podcast with people. Don't keep it all to yourself. Thanks, everybody, so much. Have a great week.